Hey, what's going on everyone? So in this video, we're going to talk about what the heck is in my bag for the fall season. Near the end of the video, I'm also going to talk quickly about what I use to record my games on the ice. So when it comes to the equipment, I'm going to talk about each piece like in the order that I actually put them on when I get dressed. So let's get this thing opened. So the first thing that I usually put on is going to be my socks. I'll actually put these guys on before I go to the rink. And why the heck am I talking about socks? Like, what's so important about socks? So I feel like it's actually really important to consistently use like the same type of sock every time you play. If you're going from like a very thin sock to a thick sock, you're gonna get a very different feel in your boot each time you play hockey. So the problem that I had was I was kind of going between thin socks and like thick, cheap running socks. And every time I would wear the running socks, I would get a lot of foot pain because the extra thickness made my boot really, really tight. So I kind of just went out and bought a pair of like these sports socks and have a few pair of these laying around, really super bright colors so I don't get them lost in laundry. So I'll always grab a pair of these to wear each time I skate, and I don't wear any other sock. So next goes on my base layer. So I wear these super old Under Armour dry fit base layer. So this is my sleeveless top that I wear, and along with this is kind of like just my leggings that I put on. No joke, I've had these for probably like over 20 years. I know that sounds pretty gross, but I do take good care of them. They still do the job, so I'm not gonna buy another set, not yet at least. And once I got those on, next goes on the cup, of course. So this is my Warrior cup that I have. Again, this is something that I've had for probably like over 10 years. It's definitely done its job. I do have two healthy boys while using this jock, so it's definitely done its job. So nothing too fancy there. Straps are a bit loose just because of how old it is, but still does its job on the ice. And once I got this guy on, I will go ahead and strap my knee guards on. So these are my paw protective knee guards. I really love these things. Really nice and thin. You'll see how thin these are, but super protective as well. And the reason why I really like these, and I felt like it was one of my best purchases, is because previously whenever I had knee pads, they would either be too bulky or just keep sliding down during the game. Because these ones have like a built-in little harness, there's no way this is ever sliding down through the game. So if you're having that same problem, these may be something that would be worth investing in. I found these out from Wayne from the VO Goalie. So definitely thanks for him for recommending these. Definitely one of my favorite purchases. So once I got these bad boys on, next up are my pants. So I've had these for just like a couple months now. This is the CCM Axis F9 pant. So I'm wearing a medium. This type of pant is actually quite snug. So I do like more of a snug fit as opposed to like baggy and loose. And because that it is a little bit more snug and fitted to my body, I don't wear suspenders with them like I normally would. And what I'll actually do is use the internal belt to kind of hold everything up, and that kind of sits around my gut really nicely. I don't tuck my chest protector in. If I were to tuck my chest protector in, I'd probably have to wear suspenders and maybe just like make a little bit more room in here. It is pretty fitted though, if you're looking to get a pair of these. Even though it's really fitted, you know, so far the protection's been great. The mobility is really nice as well. It's really like nice and firm and sturdy. So my previous pants were always kind of like a little bit too saggy and baggy, and I didn't really like that, kind of like flopping around while I was moving around. So I really enjoy wearing these pants. Big shout out to Goalie Strength who recommended these pants. Kind of just took a chance from that recommendation and just ordered them online. And so far I really like these ones. All right, so once the pants are on go the skates. So I am currently wearing these Bauer Elites, which I've had for a little bit over a year now. So obviously I got the soakers on there. So I'm wearing a size 7.5, a fit 3. So it's like the widest fit that you can get for a boot. I have really wide feet. One thing that I did change was the laces. So I just put on some new wax laces. This definitely helps maintaining that tightness throughout the game, if your laces don't get loose while you're playing. In terms of steel that I use, right now you'll see this is just like the stock steel. That's what I use on the synthetic ice. But when I play on the ice, I have the Pulse TI titanium coated steel that I use. In terms of hollow, I recently actually started using a 3/8 with an inside high edge. So that's kind of like an offset hollow, which kind of gives you a nice dig, but kind of shaves off some of the outside edge so you don't kind of like fall over when you're doing shuffles. I'm still kind of experimenting with that. That's what I'm currently using on my other set of steel. So once the skates go on, and probably not going to chuck this behind me because it's going to scratch something up, on go with the pads. So I did a whole video on my custom Bauer set, but I'm wearing the Hyperlite 2 pads, and this is a size small, which is a 33+1. In terms of toe tie, I actually recently switched off the bungees and onto just like regular laces, and this is reason why is because I wanted to experiment with using laces because I'm learning RVH a little bit more, and I wanted to see how this felt like compared to using the bungees. Nothing too special about the pads, besides that it is a Hyperlite 2 with an ultrasonic stiffness up on the thigh rise. I do use the Professor strap in the back here to kind of keep my knee locked in there. But if you're looking for more information about this, I do have a whole video where I talk about the entire custom order that I did. So once I got the pads on, next goes on the neck protector, and this is the Warrior, I believe it's the X3 Pro neck guard. Not my favorite piece of equipment, to be honest. It's actually like really stiff and not very comfortable to wear. But you know, it was on sale and it was kind of like one of those things that I just needed to get replaced with my old one. So this will do for now. So far it's, you know, done its job. I haven't really taken too many shots to the neck anyway. But yeah, this is what I would put on next. And once this is on goes the chest protector. So again, a new addition to my bag is the Bauer Shadow chest protector. And this is again a size medium. This is a higher end chest protector. I really love this. This is probably like, you know, next to those knee guards I was talking about, this is probably like my next favorite piece of equipment. And I've worn a couple high end chest protectors before, but this is just like amazing. I really love what Bauer has done with this Chesty. Just like the mobility in the arms. I think they call it like Hinge 3.0 or something like that. The mobility in that. Just kind of how it hugs your waist and kind of fits around your body, but also gives you a lot of size up top. It's really nice, and it's also like really lightweight too. So as soon as I kind of wore this for the first time, like I felt like there was so much more mobility in my waist and my arms, and this just felt really good to wear on the ice. So definitely recommend this one if you have the budget for that. All right, so once the chest protector is on, there's not much else to put on. The jersey goes on top. We'll talk about the helmet next. So this guy over here. So this is a ProTech sport mask, fiberglass. I believe this was made in around 2009, so this outer shell here. If you look at my previous videos, you know, I was wearing a silver chrome mask with a chrome cage. This is actually the exact same mask, but I recently got it refurbished because, to be honest, man, like the inside of the foam for playing with that mask for like over, you know, 15 years in that same mask, the inside of the mask was like smelling like a gym sock, and man, it was pretty gross. So I had to kind of get all the screws, you know, changed, and the inside's all cleaned out and everything. Interesting thing about this mask, I think, is this chin sling. So I wasn't used to this when I first got it, but maybe a little bit different than some of the masks that you guys are used to. And these are built by Mikel in Montreal, so his company's called ProTech, and he makes masks for NHL goalies like Luongo and Giguère back in the day. So really solid. I'm really impressed about how long this has lasted. All right, so we'll get the helmet on, ready to hit the ice. So we're going to talk about the gloves really quick. So the catcher that I have, this is a Vapor 90. So again, a 580 brake with a Pro Palm. So it came out of the box really nice and broken in already. Could be a little bit wider, probably a little bit, but I can try and work that in some more. I really enjoy this glove. I think as of a couple of days ago, you can get a 580 Vapor 90 off the shelf now. So these used to be custom only, but now you can just kind of buy them stock off the shelf. So if you're looking for a 580 brake, you know, definitely pick one of these up. And then onto the blocker. So the blocker that I use is the Supreme Shadow blocker. I was on the fence about getting just like a Hyperlite blocker, but kind of didn't like how the glove portion felt like. It had a really weird cuff over here, kind of got in the way. I really liked how the Shadow felt because it kind of moves around really nicely without that cuff, and the glove is a bit more snug than most blockers that I've used. But other than that, really nice hard rebounds to the corner, which is really nice. Otherwise, you know, feels really good. Pretty solid blocker. And the last thing that comes to equipment is going to be my goal stick. So I am a horrible puck handler, so I just kind of use whatever stick I can find that's on sale. So currently I'm using this True Catalyst 5x3. This is an intermediate 24 inch. So they don't make like senior 24 inches. I think there's a couple companies that do now, but at the time this was the only 24 that I could find. So it's a little bit shorter than most sticks. I think the first game that I played actually started chipping the paint away here. So that kind of sucks. Just some other like random stuff in my bag. I have an extra towel to wipe my skates after each session. Of course I have my water bottle, definitely got to have some hydration. I got my flip-flops. So I'm not a big fan of like taking a shower and stepping on like random hairs. I have to wear these when I go take a shower. And of course some soap. And I always have an extra neck guard on hand. This is like a junior neck guard. It's the only one that I could find at the time. And that's because out of all the pieces of equipment, I tend to always forget my neck guard. So I kind of left a junior sized one in here just in case I forget my neck guard again. And the other thing that I usually will have in my bag, which I can't find right now, it's like a little kid's bouncy ball. So it's just like a little rubber ball that I'll just leave in my bag. If I'm at the rink a little bit early, I'll just kind of throw that against the wall just to get my eyes and hands warmed up if I have some time. So that covers like all the gear that I wear as a goalie. When it comes to recording my games, some of the stuff that I usually will bring to the rink with me is this guy. So I usually bring 2 of these obviously to record both sides of the rink. So this is, I believe it's called like a Joby Gorilla mount. So the thing that I like about this is it has, you know, it's really flexible. You get some really nice angles, especially if you're looking for like a front-facing angle. You put it on the side of the glass and then point that camera towards the goalie, and then you can get some really cool front shots with that. So most rinks here in Vancouver, we can only go behind the net on one portion of the rink. So the other side I have to do front-facing shots, which is kind of why I got flexible mount like this. When it comes to the camera, I shoot with a cheap action cam. This is from a company called Akaso. This is the V50. So I have 2 of these guys, and I think when you order one of these, it actually comes like a memory card and all that stuff. So it's pretty affordable, and some extra batteries as well. I only record at usually 2K. That's because these action cams don't really have like true 4K recording. When it comes to frame rate, I'll always record in 60 frames per second. It's definitely not really necessary. It's only useful if you're doing slow-mo shots afterwards. But usually 30 frames per second is fast enough, especially for YouTube. But if you're doing like slow motion clips, 60 frames per second is the way to go. Some other doodads that I would bring on the ice for recording, if I am recording, this is what I would use on the ice, like inside the net. So it's just like a puck with some duct tape and like a little mount on top. You could probably put a couple more pucks underneath it to get a better angle, but this is what I would use for in the goal type of stuff. And the other thing that I'll bring on the ice, I don't really use this too often, but this is kind of like a mini tripod. So it kind of unfolds into this long gooseneck thing like this, and you can open up the bottom, plug that guy in, and then you get like a really cool tripod. And this is like, if you actually have some open ice to be able to put this on there during warm-up or something like that, you get some really cool angles of you playing on the ice. And the last thing that I have for recording is it's basically just an adapter. So this is like for putting your phone in there. If you want to bring an action cam, you can just pop these onto one of the mounts that I showed you, and then you can put your phone in there and just do some quick recording. Another option if you don't want to bring action cams onto the ice. All right, so I think that about covers it for what's in the bag for the fall season. I'm hoping to stay with this gear setup for like at least a couple years. All the stuff that I've shown you right now is pretty much like almost like an entire new kit for the fall season. So I did swap out almost every piece of equipment that I had from the previous year for new stuff. As a goalie, it's always fun to go shopping online and wait for Boxing Day sales and stuff like that to pick up some new gear and see how that makes you feel on the ice. That's like one of the more enjoyable and fun things about being a goalie. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good time watching. If you have any questions about any of the gear, I can go into a little bit more detail about each piece. If you want to leave some questions in the comments below, feel free to do that, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.